Hola, welcome back to another Pink Diamond Diary read with your lovely, beautiful reader tonight, Susie and the Beast, Ricky.
Oh,
We have
stop it
Beauty
now.
and the Beast tonight, and so we've had a few questions from a few people regarding, like, they're honing in onto what we're saying and everything, but we've been
Mm,
discussing on what it means to be put back in the oven. And so,
yes,
yeah, so with
yes.
I got pulled out of the oven. Don't worry about that. I got pulled back out of the oven many a times. I wasn't cooked, but I was baked. I was baked on a few things, but
Not the kind of bake that I
yeah,
wanted.
no, not the type of not the type of baked that like done like a cooked dinner, but
No, not the
no,
kind of meal that you'd
no,
enjoy.
yeah,
So we did, like, it was really consistent, the conversations that I've been having today with our community, asking me specific questions about what specifically happened in our scenario that that when I say that, if the meal's not baked, you really don't want to eat it. And we talked about this, and we go, the only way we know to really help this community is to be vulnerable with our story. And parts of it, we've not lied to you when we've gone, it's been ugly, it's been messy, it's been hurtful. For us to be sitting here in this space the way that we are can only be attributed to the divine. I don't know any other force that could turn the mess that was us
yeah,
around,
yeah,
and have us here working as twin flames,
yeah,
trying to help other people into
yeah.
union. Um, so I guess we will read and interlock our story with it, but what I want to do is set sort of the premise for what happened. So when we first got together, Ricky was all sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Let's just call it what it was. He was dating half of the female population. I'm not joking. He was dating half of the female population, and then we encountered each other, and might have slowed him down a wee bit, a wee bit. We definitely were, our families we were all hanging out together, and there was definitely a connection. We were having fun with each other. There's a
It
connection
was
there.
easy that when we connected, it wasn't hard to try, and when we hung out, it wasn't there was no not much there wasn't any effort put in to make like we're cool with each other. It was just the connection we had was
Easy.
easy. It
Mm.
was easy. It wasn't there was yeah.
And it shouldn't be. And if you've watched our previous readings, you'll know we've got and even if you find them in the deck there, Ricky, we had the King of Swords. And when I'm saying he was going Mark 10 with his hair on fire as the King of Swords, and I was the Pentacle, the Four of Pentacles, working really hard on my business, we were very, no, the Knights.
Oh,
Sorry, I did say King, but have you got the
shit.
Knight? Yeah. Um, so we were very, very different characters, and there was this ridiculous connection between us that I was going, oh, he's such bad news. I need to stay away from him, but I want to go see him again. Um, and he was. I'm not kidding. He was dating half the female population, and the you know, however many months in we were, I woke up one morning and he didn't realize, because I'm always the last awake. So he's not sort of realized that I'm awake, and text message comes in from little miss whoever she was, and hey baby, how you going? And I'm just like, I can't fucking do this. I just can't do this. And that was the first time that we broke up. But it was like, it wasn't long before we were hanging back out again. But like, I still wanted to, like, you messaged me, so let's go have a coffee,
Yeah.
like,
Mm.
he always set up the scene where I could chase him, but like, I was always going to be chasing. He was never going. Look how hard that is to catch. He's on his horse going Mach 10 with his hair on fire. He was not going to be locked down into the way I live life. We were just too different as much as we
Oh,
got
we
along.
we went on the same vibrations.
Not even close.
No,
No,
but we had a connection.
yeah.
Our vibrations just
So that's
wasn't on
why
the same level.
it felt
Yeah,
okay to be friends.
yeah.
So we did. We hung
Uh-huh.
out and had coffee, and we
Uh,
it never tipped into a space beyond that. We'd
yeah.
catch up, hang out,
Hang out, and
whatever.
then we separated,
Yeah.
and then yeah.
And then I met somebody else, and because I was Little Miss Serious, and I met Little Mr. Serious, and we started dating, and very soon Mr. Serious said, "You can't hang out with him anymore. He's a problem. He's a problem to our connection. You need to cut him off." And so I did initially, and then something happened in my scenario, and it's kind of funny because our knock 3 times on the pipes comes into this scenario, where I, had an incident in that new relationship where I'd been kind of abandoned in a scenario. I was by myself, just struggling, and of course, who happens to text? Ricky. And when I'd had this knock 3 times on the pipe scenario, it happened. I'm pretty sure it had happened that day because we were laughing, joking, trying to figure out how that sequence of events went. But then Ricky came back to the periphery, says, "Get your way back home. We'll catch up for a coffee." And it took a day. We went out on a date. That's it. I'm breaking up with him. We can hang out again. It's all good, Me chasing again. All it took was him to open the door, and I was back in chasing. Like I even said, and this is, this is what chaser energy and runner energy looks like when you're not in alignment. As I said to Ricky, "I love you," and he goes, "I know." That was his response. Quite frankly, and that time it was probably a 2-3 month window.
Yeah.
Was it even that long?
No.
But that was hell. He had he was dating, I swear, 50 different people. But he kept ringing me every day. "You coming around for a coffee? You coming to hang out?" He'd open the door for me to chase, and I would show up, and I would chase, and I would be met with Little Miss whoever. And he was, can I swear, effed up on drugs and drink and just, oh my God, the mess. I
was baked, but I still needed to be in the oven.
Yeah, baked in all the wrong ways. It was, and that's the thing when I say to you that there's no way that this connection should look like it does. I'm not kidding at how ridiculous that was. And anyone who knew us back then would look at me and go, "What the hell are you doing? What the hell? He's a train wreck, and you're in the A team, and you're headed for success and empires and all this stuff. What the hell could you two possibly have in common? Why would you go back there?" And after that little scenario, there was like a particularly dramatic episode that involved another woman that I just went, "Fuck you," like fuck you, fuck you for good. I stormed out, slammed his doors, and he'd go, wait, it's all a misunderstanding. What are you worried? I'm like, "Fuck off," like literally. Like I don't get angry very often, and I'm sorry that I swore down my microphone there, but quite literally, it was that was the tipping point for me. I was done. I was like, and I sent a really respectful message. "I really can't see you ever again. Don't call me. Don't contact me. I'm done." And I'd, like as a rebound response, I hot-footed it back to Mr. Serious, and within 6 months we were married. Like quite literally, that's how hard I slammed that door when I walked out that night. I was not coming back ever, never again. But within months, it started. Like I dropped the journey altogether. I'm like, "Fuck this twin flame shit." Sorry about my language. That's how fired up I was. Yeah. I just did not want to be on the journey. I didn't want to know anything about it. It was just like bottom of the barrel stuff. And I was like, right, I've found someone I can walk forward with. And you know what? On my wedding day, I said, "I'll never have to talk to Ricky again." Woohoo! That was like, that was my mindset. I'll never have to deal with his bullshit ever again. I've got the stability that matches me. But like I've said in previous readings, if you go back and look, my husband was more obsessed than I was. It was messed up. Like he couldn't go a day without accusing me of cheating. And like we hadn't talked, honestly, I just shut the door cold. I didn't.
It was 2 years before we started talking again.
2 years.
Before you started stalking my dreams.
Yeah. Look, I would
stalked me before then.
I would do a sneaky stalk, but one of the funny things that happened, we're talking about synchronicities and stuff. Quite literally, Mr. Serious is sitting on the bed and I've got my phone in my hand and I've blocked Ricky on every imaginable way that someone could be blobbed. And my phone bings, a friend request. And like he's looking right at my phone. And of course, who is it? It's Ricky. He's sending a friend request on Facebook. I'm just like, just go away. Just leave me alone.
Lone Ranger there on the horse.
I'm just like, leave me alone. I'm
Oh,
done.
super.
And this all played out. Like over the next 2 years, it would just be as much as I got very, very serious about turning my back. The universe says, "You ready to ride the wave yet? Are you ready to do the work?" It was like it just could not be dropped and forgotten until sort of, like my marriage was done within 12 months. No big surprise there. But, and then like Ascension really started in earnest. Like I'd always been, it was always there, but like I just wasn't as in earnest until that point. And then all the dreams about Ricky started coming back, and I was like, oh, don't do it, don't message him. But the push was
come back.
The circus was back in town, and I was like, whatever this thing that is that keeps him in my periphery, I'm just gonna just ask, how are you? How are you? Is because in my dreams is Ricky's father's passed, with respect,
Yeah.
and his father was coming to me in my dream. I've never met him, but yeah, I fully recognized him as, because like mirror images, like seriously, I recognized who the energy was in my dreams, and essentially the message I was getting was that you know, that he needed support. It wasn't that he needed to be fixed, but it was that he needed support. And I would wake up and I'd take notes in my journal about what was going on in my dreams, and this pattern kind of emerged that he'd been through some stuff, and it was like way worse than where I'd left him, but he'd come out the other side. And so I let these dreams play out until it turned. People said, when do you get the green light? Is like, you get the green light when spirit says you're aligned with it. That's the only thing I can say, is I'd done enough work, and whatever work I'd done, I assumed the work I was doing was having an effect over here, and we were catching the wave in on Ascension, and life was changing and things were looking different. So I reached out, and he
pulled me out of the oven.
Yeah, pulled it. Are you baked? And not baked in the wrong way. Are you baked in the right way?
Even though as much as I was baked in the right ways, still had a few things to work out and whatnot. So it was the resting period.
It was.
You pulled out of the oven, the resting period. We're going through the whole baking and everything. Now we're going through the resting period, and
it was. Don't eat this meal quite yet.
Let it rest for a bit.
Let it cool down a minute. Yeah. So we did. And it probably took a couple of months of.
Took a hot minute.
It took a hot minute because I had a hairpin run reflex at that point, and the instant he pulled out anything that remotely looked like bullshit, it was like, piss off. Don't
I'm
come.
not good company.
I'm not good company. That was my line.
Not today, mate. So I can
no, I'm not good company. But then the process that played out was that, it was only like there'd be a couple of weeks where it'd be quiet, and I'd get the message, "Hey, how you going?" And good, how are you? And it would be, every time we got back together, he was looking for the parts. If we're talking about a meal that's cooked, he's going, what bit needs to be cooked better? What bit needs to be presented better? And he's going, he wouldn't let me get away with not working the problem. So instead of me just like falling back into fear and anxiety, which I know Divine Feminine, you're probably going to have a bucket load of if your Divine Masculine comes back and it's been as horrendous as what we went through. And he comes back and you see all the changes and you feel all the changes, but there's still, there's still that little bit of red flag hanging around, but he's standing there going, I've done so much work and I'm prepared to do the rest of the work.
Do more work.
Yeah. Can we walk this next bit together?
It's that resting period when you get pulled out of the oven. That's the best. You got to get through the resting period.
Yeah. And it had its own challenges, but you know, we got through it, and I give full credit to where we sit now and the way that we interact to the divine, because I didn't I didn't stand up to him and say, you need to, I would go, we should just shut up and fly straight. But it was a very throwaway line. It wasn't, you need to get your ass to rehab, you need to, you know, I was never beating him over the head. But when he would ask me, what do I have to do to stop hurting you, I was honest.
Yeah.
And said, this is what I get upset about. And it's like you had big fat blinkers onto it, you know, like to some of the nuances of it. And it was like, but this new connection, or this rebirthed connection where it was aligned with the divine, it's like where we didn't see or hear each other before, it was like suddenly magically we could see and hear stuff that we didn't hear before. And I was finding out things brand new about the way he operated, and I would assume the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. um, so when we say that we feel the alchemy of the shift of this journey, and did we have to understand the connection that we felt for each other? Did we have to understand the purpose of being separated? These two were never in alignment, right? The divine feminine went first. I felt it and understood it first. I said, I love you. He said, I know. Like, that's not aligned. It's like when we say that now, it's like we feel safe in it. We both know it. We both understand it. It's not, you know, there's nothing vulnerable or half-baked about it. It's if we're sitting down to enjoy the banquet of harmonious union, like I'm not fearful that I'm going to get food poisoning. But when we first come back
Oh, I don't know if
together,
I'm gonna. Yeah,
I was,
I
I
get
was,
food poisons too.
I was nervous when you first came back around. I'm like, do I eat this meal or do I not? But the divine has taken us by the hand,
Hmm.
and here we are. And
And like, I think was it one of the first readings we said like we both did not know that we were on this journey, and I didn't know that she was been on this for like 13 years and whatnot,
mm,
and it was just. She had this little secret that she couldn't tell anyone.
yeah, yeah, it was like that. It
Yeah.
was like that. I'd been, yeah. And you do keep a lot. Like the reading last night was that idea of the feminine being out in the cold. That's how I felt. I felt legit. I'm tearing up. It's been such a big journey. But you did. You feel out in the cold, and what you've got to lean on is the collective. And that's why we're doing what we're doing,
Yeah.
is because, particularly divine feminine, you know, I know that awareness is a burden, awareness of what you know about the journey and why you're being pushed through what you're being pushed through. And you get the pull to want to be with the physical person. And the divine is saying, no, come understand the 5D person, because really, this 3D person is all they do is hurt you. Why the frig do you feel this connection, right? Why the frig do you hold it dear? Why do you put it on a shelf? And I said, no, I don't want it. And I went and did this. I went and did this. I went and did stability. I went and did what everybody else done, and dead set, like it was wrapped up after, you know, marriage didn't even last 12 months. That's ridiculous, right? Because this thing that I'm meant to do, when the divine said, here's the surfboard, do you want to ride again? I went, okay. Very wearily, what's next? What's next? And, you know, like looking back now, if I can give anybody one pearl of wisdom, it's that you won't regret the ascension journey,
No, you won't regret it at all.
because what you're pursuing is faith, hope, and love, and understanding Christ consciousness. And there's nothing in that journey or that that you'll regret learning, knowing, acting on. And it's, you know, like I don't just speak it on YouTube. It's principles I live with my family. I'm always pushing kids to find the most empathic solutions. I'm teaching them. I homeschool kids, trying to teach them as much as I can about the way that the earth is lifting, and vibration and energy, and how you think about is all of this stuff that I learned on the journey that initially was triggered by this maniac. And you just go,
By
How?
Tonto.
How, Tonto?
Tonto knows this.
Tonto, what are you, stallion? But, like, you can't,
Understand.
and it's like, I think sharing the journey, while it's vulnerable, and it does make me emotional to rehash those places, to sit here now and to be able to offer, if we're able to offer comfort, if we're able to offer hope, if we're able to offer strategies, if we're able to offer testimony. We've been through the ringer, and the divine has brought us here, and that sweet moment when you you can take them out of the oven, divine feminine, and the meal is cooked. It's blessed. It's blessed, and I hope that this testimony that we've offered here under this guise is, if it serves just one person, then it's worth telling the story. And we feel very vulnerable putting our story out there, and like the humiliation of what I felt in the process was huge. And now it's going, well, we've come to the other side of it, and it's going, it can feel like, not that we feel humiliated to tell the story, but the parts of the story can drag up those feelings.
Yeah.
So we're having to lean on the divine to go, we'll stand toe to toe with any of those feelings, and if we can help somebody, if we have to humble ourselves for a minute and help people, then that's the point of being twin flames on mission and ascending in your soul journey, and trusting that the divine will do with our story what the divine needs to do.
I didn't say that.
Should I read?
Shall we start a read?
Because I'm getting on an emotional roller, but it's a big story. There we go. Okay.
So what was our theme for the read tonight?
Yeah, what I wanted to do is really is connect with that ideal and going, divine feminine, how do you know? There was a couple of ways this question was phrased today, and it was mainly directed at me, going, how did you know when you pull that out of the oven and put it back in? When did you finally know he was baked in the right way, not in the way that he used to get baked, but baked in the right way? And the other thing was, when do you get green lights? So I think this is a under the Lionsgate energy, which we know is really going to propel higher consciousness right now. I think it's a good thing to ask is, what kind of insight will divine feminine get to know that he's, because last night we'd seen him run away from the circus. If you haven't seen that reading, it is up on YouTube. We posted it yesterday. If you haven't seen that one, he'd run away from the circus, but he was still, like I was saying, is like when Ricky came back after that.
Add something?
Sure.
Yeah, and just don't forget that tomorrow night in the Southern Hemisphere, the 28th, is the new moon, and then so it should be the day after that for the Northern Hemisphere. Good time to start meditating, to come in underneath this lion's gate with a Sirius star about to come back into the eastern horizon.
It is.
Sorry about that.
It is. No, it's timely because I keep forgetting about it. So yeah, the question is, like under yesterday's reading, we had that Seven of Wands, and he was going to crash into the feminine, and that communication was clumsy and it hurt. And Ricky and I will resonate that 1000%. That initial push when you come back together still has some work to do. Did it still cut me a little bit? For sure, but we also saw that there was a push for the divine masculine to offer up the 10th pentacle to the feminine, and I'm going to, with all the love in the world, say that this is what's happened for me is Ricky is that 10th pentacle, and together we're ready for our mission. All right, let's have a look, divine feminine. How is this affecting you? Pulling them out of the oven, knowing they're baked and green lights. Yeah, look, straight out temperance, the balance card. I love you. I know. That was a clanger.
Did you have to say it today?
You said, I know. But you did know. I'm a heart on my sleeve kind of girl. Right. We got the moon card. We've got the moon card.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the judgment. We've got the Queen of Swords. We've got the Seven of Wands. We've got the Sun card. Oh, we're getting sunbaked. See, this is the right kind of baked to get sunbaked by the divine. Oh, I'm going to run with this joke tonight. You started it, but now it's mine. Under the deck, we've got the Star, right? The Fool, the Six of Wands, the Ace of Wands, the Two of Swords, Page of Wands. Why is this relentlessly coming up for you, divine? Oh, I've taken 7 there. Look, I've taken 7 because I'm meant to. You know why? Oh, look, I'm going to do it because it's, and I work in 3s. It's a thing. It's a thing. But look at this. Empress, you know what I was talking about just then? The Empress. Here comes the divine masculine. You're in Empress status. He's Knight of Cups. So Knight of Cups is not the clown at the circus. He has matured and he has something to offer. He's got his cup of love and he's bringing it to an Empress. A Knight and an Empress, they are not in alignment, and it has the potential for this. It breaks down to breakthrough. You bring them out of the oven, you go, oh, that was disappointing. Sorry. That was, but it's a breakdown to breakthrough, because what happened then is when it broke down, and I'm going, sorry, you want to bring your Knight of Cups energy to an Empress, go back and bake a little bit. He did. He did. That's the kicker, is he did. And he would legitimately go, like, because I'm pretty good at saying I'm not good company, you need to leave, or can I take you home, or whatever however it played out. But he would come back and he'd go, and this is something that I give him full credit for, in things that I could only fix when he came back. I couldn't do it by myself. It was only when I'm standing face to face and he makes me stand and deliver on what my problem is. And he goes, all right, you're going to cry. You're not going to run away. You're going to stand here and you're going to cry in front of me and you're going to tell me what I've done to hurt you so I can fix it. And that was a very, very different energy from old mate.
From before.
Very different energy.
It was, all right, cool, I'll see you later. You can cry. I'll be back later.
Yeah, fully catch up with you when you're feeling better. It's a very, very different turn of events. And it's like, I didn't want to show him that he was causing me pain because I didn't want to go another round of bullshit. But, right, it was breakdown to breakthrough. The Tower served us when this come back around. And every time that he refronted, or that we'd go through one of these moments, it was like, you're better. I know you're better. I know that we still got work to do. And we couldn't do that last chapter until we'd actually got together. I'd gone through the journey first, and he had grown and ascended for sure, but he wasn't an emperor, he was a knight. But the cup that he was offering felt finally genuine. There was something legitimately worthwhile going, I might tap back in. Might just tap back in. How you doing? So this breakdown to breakthrough energy is it's potent, and people have asked me, were you scared to bring him back in? I was freaking terrified. But bit by bit, every time that this came through, this energy came forward, and he offered the next level of what, and we probably did this 3 or 4 times when you came back.
Yeah, definitely.
If not more. Right. The breakdown to breakthrough, but every time we had a breakdown to breakthrough, he was ascending, and it felt more and more like something I could stand up in. I could trust him with the vulnerabilities, and he was trusting himself to be able to stand up in it, and that was a very, very different place to be. I'm glad I took them. That's a true story right there. See how the divine forced me into 7? I like 3s. Funny creature of habit, eh? Here's our spark. This is what we were talking about in the last couple of readings. And if you missed last night's reading, I was talking about how I'd had this synchronicity.
That's like, 3-4 nights in a row now?
Yeah, fully. Where the page of Wands has come out, and the question, it came through on the challenge position for the divine feminine, and the words I used was, she's looking for a spark. And then the next day I did my daily rounds.
Challenge.
Yeah, the first night it came in the challenge. Last night it was in the push from the universe, the spark. But prior to that, in a beautiful synchronicity, as I was researching Lionsgate energy, one of the articles was quite literally
There was a
titled
spark. Yeah.
Divine Spark. Yeah. So this Page of Wands, I'm glad he's come through again in the same position as a push from the universe. So you will have that push of Divine Spark to start giving you some answers. Will it be confusing? Highly likely. This Two of Swords is relentless. And even like probably an hour before we did this reading, I was talking to one of our lovely people in our community and talking to Ricky, and I was going, see, like our community is feeling the Two of Swords. I
Yeah.
literally said that to you,
Yeah.
is that they're going, this is the affection that I feel for my twin. This is the bullshit they pull at me. And then you're asking me to take all of this information, shut my eyes, lean backwards, and trust that the divine is going to fix all this. It feels counterintuitive. But the divine says, I'm going to provide the spark you need to, you shut your eyes and you look for me, because here I am. Here I am. I am the spark. I am the spark. Here it's small, but look how when you lean back in this Two of Swords energy and you take all of that confusion, all of that frustration, all of that push to ascend, this turns into a great big spark.
Yeah.
We've got the Ace of Wands fronting, and the Ace of Wands suggests that you follow the high road. See this? You've got a couple of low roads, and then you've got the high road. The high road that leads to the divine. So that's a beautiful sequence there too. It's like, feel the spark, lean on the divine through all the confusion, through your counterintuitive thoughts, and what will birth is a great big new spark that puts you in true alignment with the path of the divine. Beautiful message. And one more layer from the push from the universe. See this? Victory. The universe wants you to succeed, divine feminine. And I love this in this because I created this set of cards, and I did this with the idea of the sun being some sort of connection to the divine. Look at this. You have a victory here with the sun at your back. Sorry about that. You have a victory here with the sun at your back. And if we're looking at the divine, it's the push from them. And here you've got your foot up on this rock. There's a bit of an ascension staircase that you've come to the top of. Yeah, you've still got some pathway to go, like we saw over here. You've got some more of that pathway to go, and here it's behind this character. It's traveling there. But you know that you've got the divine at your back. You know what to do with what's coming at you, and there's some level of victory ready to be achieved. Fully challenge the divine masculine to come at you in this energy. Fully bring it. Leap of faith, divine feminine. Trust that this victory is yours. Trust that you are on the right path. And again, I want to refer back here that this spark is alive and well within you. The fool, he follows his feet. He doesn't worry that if he takes this path of ascension with the divine, that he's going to fall off the cliff. And this is kind of where I was before, saying to you, don't fret, divine feminine, about what the outcome of your ascension journey will be, because the rewards for this journey, what you learn about faith, hope, and love, what you learn about the divine, what you learn about yourself, your family, your friends, the planet you live on, the stars, even UFOs. Oh my gosh, I can tell you some stories around there. But what you are able to glean off the journey that has nothing to do with the 3D person who has got you so triggered is astonishing. Here you are, you're going, right, I'm going to let the divine take charge of my feet, and I'm going to trust that the road will rise up to meet you. That is the other question I get asked. What do I actually do? Two things: accept, surrender. Right? Sounds simple, I know. I know it sounds like a trite throwaway line. But the power of your mind is that if you can repeat this, and we do have a 65 days program, which we'll dive into in later days. But it takes 65 days for your body to accept a new chemistry, like your cells to change for you to accept a new belief. And this is kind of what the accept and surrender scenario is for me, is going, if you can spend 65 days telling yourself without question of a doubt, without anything other than just pure belief that I am a twin flame. This is my soul ascension journey. And you get up every day for the next 65 days, and the only thing that you choose to work on is your twin flame soul ascension journey, because you intend to have victory and walk with the divine. And it doesn't matter, we put our twin flame connection in a safe, loving, healthy place, knowing that the usual reward, according to the doctrine and according to the patterns, is that you will be victorious in your union. But if you can give it 65 straight days of focus on ascension, and the only thing that you're worried about is what you're going to learn on the journey and being victorious with the divine, your feet will take you where you need to go. The road will rise up to meet you, because what you think about, what you talk about, what you choose to study will start building your universe out in front of you. Like, if you are only ever reacting to what your world is doing, you're going to keep getting more of the same. The path of manifestation starts within you, and this is the path of the fool. He already knows what his destination is. He already knows that walking in oneness with the divine, and as a beautiful reward, your twin flame, he already knows that's what his outcome is. So he lives fearlessly, knowing the road will rise up to meet him, and the universe will conspire with him to deliver him unto his destiny. So with this message, twin flames, if divine feminine, if you only commit to the next 65 days of going, I'll put my twin flame connection in a safe place where it's loved and it's cherished, but it's not obsessed about. And what I get serious about is letting the divine show me where the road will rise up to meet my feet. That will make an incredible difference in your world, whether union's waiting on the other side or not. Now, look what comes out over the top of that. And I've got pretty passionate about that little spiel, because the star over the top, we're talking about Lionsgate, right? So the 8-8 portal is coming up, but the energy portal is already open, so you can already be taking advantage of this push for higher consciousness. It literally opens the portal to push you on this ascension gateway. It actually sets you up for success in reaching the divine and understanding higher consciousness. It's literally set. The table is set for your ascension. The question is, will you now settle in, accept, yes, you are a twin flame. Yes, your soul, every soul has a soul ascension journey. Your particular journey is as a twin flame, and surrender to the fact that these journeys have a pattern. They have a pattern where you go into separation, you learn about yourself, your twin goes off and does the work that they need to do. The pattern is that the divine feminine generally goes first into understanding, and because she moves into understanding, and because you have quantum entanglement, that what happens to the feminine will affect the masculine. Your job, your number one job in making all of that happen, is to take a leap of faith and follow the divine. Under this 8-8 portal, it is supercharged to get you on your way. Does that make sense?
It makes so much sense.
I'm like really digging on that energy. Excuse me. I've got it. I'm like, my temperature's rising. It's getting hot in here. I'm just gonna lose a layer. All right, let's go. So, divine feminine, what is the push from you directly from the universe? Balance. See this? This is the push. And this is what we were talking about before. And it's like, all humiliation aside, to say, I love you, and be told, I know, is not temperance. That is not what alignment looks like. It's not. What it looks like is when you say, I love you, and they say, I love you back. Right? And it's not in a flippant way. It's because what has got you to that point, for you to say that to each other, it's a genuine, divine, balanced alignment. And the universe is asking you to get to this point of balance and temperance. Now, I say that way. It just feels like a really... I wanted to bring that point really forward. But I know that twin flames on this current wave of ascension are still waiting for this balance moment to come around. So, yes, you can actually feel the effects of this Temperance card in your energy space, in your 5D space. And I can't even make up that this card fell in the same position last
Yes,
night.
it did.
Exactly. And what we've got here, like Ricky alluded to earlier, is we've got this new moon that's coming around. So you can set some intentions around these ideals of balance under the new
You mean?
moon, to and also working with the the Lionsgate portal. We'll put the sun and the moon, the star and the moon there together because they're two mighty, powerful forces. They want to bring you into balance. They want to bring you into balance. They want you to be able to feel the reciprocation of this divine union. Where can you experience this? Anytime you like. This place, in your soul. You can experience balance anytime you like when you get into alignment with the divine. Because you, your twin, the divine, this table, me, Ricky, this, whatever you can touch, taste, feel, imagine, is all connected from the quantum sea. And when you can understand that that's what oneness is all about, you'll start to understand that you and your twin are never disconnected. In the nothing is not nothing. In the nothing is something. And you are able to access this space in between you and your twin anytime you like. In the 5D, you can experience their love and they can experience your love anytime they tap into it. It does not need 3D alignment to feel this balance. This is what kept, I'm kind of taking the long way around, but this is what kept me still connected. It's probably what kept you still connected, is in the higher realm, you could feel the balance.
Yep.
It was easy to connect. There was some kind of energetic magic that happened in a space that wasn't 3D. And it took, the misalignment was what pushed the journey into bringing the 3D into balance, but the 5D is never not in balance. It's always there. The kicker is, can you access it via the work that you're doing? And in the 3D, that's what we're seeing, is that you are really getting into understanding that energy is a powerful thing, and you can use the alignments that are currently existing to set manifestations, knowing what your outcome is. Let the universe know what your outcome already is and live it as if the universe has just laid the path out for you. You already got your dress dipped in the water. You're already receiving the power of the energy of the moon. Here, you're looking up to the stars, having the power of the Lion's Gate shine down on you to move you to the next phase. And here, in your soul space, it's... I hope I'm articulating well, because I feel like I've got a lot of thoughts jumbling out at once. But look at this powerful alignment. And here I spoke last night, it's like a real repeating message, is that you've got the sun and the stars in this particular representation behind the divine. So the divine is really going, align with me, divine feminine. Take this last path of ascension and really understand what it is to be at one with the divine. The path will rise up to meet you, and the downloads, the information, the lessons, you don't have to fight to know what to do next. I think this is my big push in this story, is you don't have to fight to know what to do next, but you do have to consciously choose to want to have balance. The push from the universe will give you everything that you need to get there, but free will, look, seriously, you have to have the energy of the fool. You have to take that leap of faith and get out on that journey and learn all that you can to really come into balance, into alignment with the journey. Experience the 5D version of your twin and feel all the balance in the world, and then watch the alchemy that takes place as the fool gets busy on his journey and the universe conspires, because your inner belief has already built the future out in front of you. The universe will conspire to put you on the road. You don't know how it's going to do it. I had no idea what was happening. None. I just trusted that my feet would know the right steps at the right time. And when there was a green light go, I took it. I went there. I did it. So trust your feet, trust the Fool, get out on that journey, because the push right now is insane to get the information you need, and you are so close to understanding the divine. The divine finds you in good favor, divine masculine. It's a beautiful, and that has been a relentless repeating message. What is your challenge? Your challenge is to cut away the crap, right? Cut away the bullshit. And that's part of, I'll be really interested to see how the masculine cards come out, because last night we didn't hold back in saying that the divine masculine might present with a little bit of bullshit, might still be carrying a little bit of bullshit. Your job is to know, yeah, your job is to know what to cut away and what to work on, and to hold your ground. If this roast in the oven is not cooked, don't eat it. Don't engage. Don't let it in. The divine is backing you. Look, it's backing you in standing your ground, in having the connection that you've worked for, that you desire, that you want, that you've set as the manifestation for the Fool to take their path to achieve. Did I stand my ground, Ricky? What do you reckon?
You did.
I certainly did. I wanted the connection. Definitely felt love. Definitely felt at ease, enjoyed his company, but I was just so intolerant of bullshit, and probably still am, just a wee little bit. But,
just a wee little bit. Just a tad, tiny bit.
But there's far less bullshit to be intolerant of. That's the kicker. And, you know, look, I'm speaking from my point of view, but like I certainly brought bullshit to the table as well. I had my stuff that I had to get through, that he would stand me up and go, well, I'm not going to cop this from you. You need to, not that it was aggressive in that way at all. He's the sweetest man on the face of the planet, but he definitely drew lines in the sand with me. Anytime that I would put barriers to connection, because I had fear, I had anxiety that he was still the circus.
Still do.
Yes, yeah.
But we're working on it. We are working on it.
We still draw these lines with each other. We're still getting up every day and going, you know, first thing we say in the morning is it's going to be a fabulous day.
Awesome day. It's going to be an awesome day.
It's going to be an awesome day. And we work really, really hard at not letting anything get between us. And we're very, very hyper aware of how far we've come to be in the position that we are. And we're going to defend it with all that we've got. So divine feminine, we're in a different phase of, if you're still in separation, no contact, we're in a different phase of unions coming together, but we're sitting in this energy too. We're defending where we are. If you're defending where you are in separation, we're defending where we are in oneness or in union. So we're reflecting that energy from both sides of the coin. What is the likely outcome? Sunbaked. I'm just going to say that. You is sunbaked. Sunbaked by the divine. Baked by the divine.
The higher power.
The higher power. The only way to be. Stop. He's so cheeky, right? Baked by the divine is what I'm going to call this card. Is like the likely outcome is that your union will see this here. We do have masculine and feminine, really happy, really abundant, enjoying everything that the divine is raining down on them. It's that the sun is the happiest card in tarot, and I'm going to call it my sun baked or baked by the divine, as you'll know the time is right, that things are just right for you to take that out of the oven and enjoy the meal instead of it leaving you with food poisoning or any other scenario you can dream up. Have you got some cards for me for the divine masculine? Oh, here we go. We got the 9 of Cups, and we've got that as the push in the soul space. So look, it is I do see this masculine as being quite defensive, the way that the arms are crossed, but I'm feeling it differently this time. Like how I want to do that is like, see how these I'm probably not going to get a good view from there, but see how the cards poured down from the Temperance card. It's like when the divine feminine comes into balance, it's like she's filling all those 9 cups with the divine masculine. So this is now a direct energy transfer when you come into balance, divine feminine, and we're getting these energies of grounding, and it hitting the baseline. For mine, this is all right. You've reached a peak of understanding, divine feminine, who you are. That accept and surrender scenario that we're talking about. coming into balance with who you are, understanding the 5D connection and enjoying the 5D connection. And when you do, it starts to pour that energy into the Nine of Cups. He's going to start to feel, on some level, the push from the universe against him is that he's starting to feel his cups fill up on some level. And who's he going to connect it to? Probably comes through in a dream space, because I really do feel this on a 5D level. But he's going to start to feel somebody pouring good stuff into his cups.
It's like when you entered my dream space.
Exactly. And you entered my dream space. I started to go.
Arrived there.
Oh, are we going back to the circus?
The nightmare's the beginning.
But maybe this is what took place. Maybe in that dream space, in that 5D space where we were able to enjoy union, we started to feel the masculine side of the connection started to come into balance, or have, because the Nine of Cups is about having wishes fulfilled, even though, I mean, we have a bit of a laugh at how grumpy and defensive he is about being so happy. It's such a happy card, but he's quite stoic in his thing. So, he could have some resistance to, or an ability to self-sabotage, which is, we're familiar with that energy of going, yes. Oh, things get happy. What can I do to stuff that all up? But to mine, this feels like, and I'm trying to hold it in a space where, see what I'm seeing? How these tip into these cups, start to fill him up, and he doesn't even know it's happening. It's all happening behind him and above him and around him. That's why I'm picking it up as a 5D energy, and it's certainly the push from the universe for that balancing act to occur. What have we got in the, how he's showing? Yeah, look. Oh, I like this. See, look, he's going, all right, so my Nine of Cups are being filled up, and it certainly feels like it's a joyous thing that's starting to happen, even though he's defensive. This card is a cup of celebration, and when I read for twin flames, I call this, divine masculine, divine feminine, and the divine themselves. And apologies last night, it was probably a bit of a Freudian slip, but I was calling out yellow as sacral energy when it's solar plexus energy. But I go, is it a Freudian slip? Maybe those two energy centers are coming online, and I was calling them both out, even though I got the terminology wrong. That sense of self-esteem is rising, and creative energy is rising too. And I think that's a big thing that we can both reflect on is, I think we both have better self-esteem these days through this journey. And I think we were both very capable of self-sabotage for our own different reasons. But this is showing up with, if you've got these Nine of Cups wanting to be blessed, it's like going, let's celebrate with them. Let's celebrate our all working together and drinking from a divine cup, and being in this this trinity with each other. You, twin flames, are my creation, and I toast you, all the work that you've done to be on planet Earth, and look, see, we've got these energy of being sort of the harvest down here, or the abundance of, see, it's like things have sprouted, that they're in like some kind of a harvest season. To me, it's kind of like he's toasting these unions and going, they're doing it. They might not be online yet, we fully acknowledge that, but it's like they're toasting that it's happening. These unions are coming closer and closer to being celebrated in the soul space. I like this too. The Strength card. I'm going to go here because I get a little green when I see this. See this? It's like the inner strength card, and it is represented by our feminine energy in this particular representation. And look, we've got our divine feminine. She has really come to understand and been found in good favor with the divine there. A little bit of ascension still to go, but essentially the push is right, the effort is right, and things are in good favor. Guess what happens then? Look at this. And, I'll show you, the tattoo on my wrist. I wear it here because to me, this is the representation of what love will look like. Now, in the older days, even now, olden days, what am I talking about? Because I'm talking about New Earth. But hearts were drawn like this, right? You draw the traditional heart. For you to sit in that energy, it's like it doesn't flow. It has to stop, change direction. If you fold it in half, it's a nice mirror of each other for sure. But the energy, when you draw that, you have to stop, change direction, and move around. And I kind of saw that as a real representation of when I started to understand what love is. And it really is this flowing exchange of energy. It's like it's always give and take, and it never gets stagnant, and it never gets stuck. That is to know divine love. And from here, the universe creates from its balance point of neutrality. So you might have moments of feeling really, really positive with what's going on with your connections, or you have moments of feeling really, really negative, and you're sharing this exchange around, but the universe creates your union from this neutral point or this gratitude point. So the infinity symbol really is something that I align with. And also 8 is my life path number if you turn it that way. That's my numerology. And I see this here with the divine feminine. Here she is with understanding what universal or Christ conscious love is all about. Now 8 is also as a life path, it is about power, it is about strength, and it is about leadership. And here the divine feminine has overcome, and I'm reading this card in the soul space of the divine masculine, just saying, that the work that she's done to understand all of this energy and to carry it has required a whole lot of strength. And she's, do you know what you said when you opened this reading? You said it's Beauty and the Beast.
Uh-huh.
I was just about to say she's tamed the beast. That's what you opened with.
Yeah, you the beauty and me the beast.
Or the divine feminine out there. Divine feminine. I'll take that. Thank you, darling. But divine feminine out there with all her beautiful energy, working into ascension, and she's grounded this energy here on the earth plane. See that? She's got her feet well and truly on the earth plane. The stability of the mountains in the background, and here she's dressed in white, and she wears this she's got some kind of vegetation. I don't want to say vegetation, what would you call that? Some kind of fernery around her. I'm getting the wrong words. Floral arrangement, let's go there. But she's got this happening here, which is a beautiful connection to the earth in blossom, or where it's fruited or harvested on some level. So she's really, and she's got a wreath around her head too, like she's really celebrated in the energy that she's in, and she's overcome the beast, right? Now, and look at that beast. There's nothing scary about him anymore. He almost looks like he's like smiling. But the other thing about this is what the season that we're in is Leo season, which is all about the lion as well. So in Leo season, with our Lionsgate portal, there's our 8-8. So imagine that we've got the portal over her head, and she's being able to draw down all of this inspiration from the divine, because look over here, you've been found in beautiful, favorable judgment. She's tamed the beast. And where does that sit? In the soul of the divine masculine. I'm going to take that as a solid victory. What is the challenge? What is the challenge? Okay, so the 6 of Wands comes out as the challenge. Over here, we've got you, Divine Feminine, the Queen of Swords, so you've got to be able to cut away some crap. And here, you've got the victory comes in as a challenge card, and I think you have victory over here for yourself, Divine Feminine. You've got it as a push from the universe. So you're feeling strong and victorious and very, very capable. Divine Masculine might be feeling like, I don't know how to achieve victory. And I'm really drawn to this this wreath that's sitting at the top of this wand. And look, she's wearing it over, she's got it around her her crown chakra, or between the third eye and the crown chakra, up on her head. And look at this. It's sitting over the top, and he's got one around his head too. I just noticed these wreaths tonight on these cards. So what's coming through in the challenge position? Perhaps it's the unity of these two energies of, aligning. Oh, don't you love it when that sort of makes sense? The balance. We've got, if this is the Divine Feminine's wreath, and here's the Divine Masculine's wreath, look where they're sitting. This one's high atop a wand. higher topper wand. It's way elevated compared to the one that he's wearing around his head. This could even be the divine's wreath, but he's struggling to have a victory in that energy. You're trying to pour all these blessings down into his cups. You've had these, the divine wants to celebrate the connection. You've got victory. I love this in the soul space. Like this is mad. And he's going, I don't know how to feel good about it. Maybe I'll take my horse back to the circus. I don't know. I'm struggling to have victory with these energies that are playing out upon me. What is the advice from Spirit? Yes.
That one jumped
Yes.
out.
That one jumped right out
That
at
one jumped out of the deck.
Look, the advice from Spirit. Here is where you are, as the three of you. The advice is, and we've talked a lot about this being energies on high, haven't we? You know, we've talked about these energies on high, and look, here, the universe wants to pour this energy into the two cups that the divine masculine and the divine feminine hold. And I'm really, really drawn to this idea of these wreaths around their head again. It's like, you know, it just feels like there's some kind of harvest or some kind of flowering of ideas that are going on. And if we're looking at this infinity idea of energy traveling between the two, you know, green and red are opposite on the color wheel too. You know, it's like we've got the opposing forces being joined together here in the middle, and they're both taking their cup of love and bringing it together. Now, when the Two of Cups comes in a reading for twin flames, this is how I see the earthly bond. This is how you're showing up on the earth plane, and the advice from Spirit. We are yet to draw the Two of Cups in a reading that we've done, I think. It's been few and far between.
Yeah.
But this is advice from Spirit. So the advice is it wants to be brought together, right? We've got this energy rising up here connected with this winged creature. So there's a force playing out, and I think even if you look closely, can you see that? It's a lion. It's a lion, right? And even if you, I mean, I'm stretching your imagination a little, but can you see? Oh, did we lose? Are we still going? Oh, sorry. I thought it had a technical glitch. If you look really closely, can you see what I'm seeing? If you look at the bottom of it, it's an infinity or an 8. Look at the top of it, it's an infinity almost. See how it's not quite closed, the top one? You've got like a figure that looks like an 8. Can you see what I'm seeing?
Yep.
Tell me I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
It's like an 8 at the bottom and an almost 8 at the top.
Like an 8-8.
And a lion, a winged lion. What are we talking about? Lionsgate, yeah?
Lionsgate.
Lionsgate. 8-8. With a lion with wings, a force that's coming down from the universe. The advice is that Spirit wants to pour into these cups for these two. What's the challenge? The divine masculine. Do you know what's going on? Do you know how to have a victory in these things? What is the likely outcome? Righto. Likely outcome is the Four of Cups. This, when it comes through in the outcome like that, what I'm really looking at is some kind of discernment. So this is like a force from the universe coming down towards. If see how I want to play this out is like if you've got the Two of Cups here, right, and it's coming through as advice. I want a physical down to earth union under this Lionsgate energy or some kind of connection to transpire. And look, you're defensive to that underneath. Look, are you defensive to the connection or defensive to, or I'm going to say defensive to any rubbish. But how I was seeing this is, look, you've got the Two of Cups here, which is the physical level of it. Up here, you've got the divine dancing with the twins. But here, in the likely outcome, is that the divine goes, come on, divine masculine, are you going to join in?
Yeah.
You know, are you going to keep focusing on these three cups that are, and I'm talking about how, like if you focus on your reality and you will continue to create what you focus on. So if what you're looking at, if it's crap over here, divine masculine, guess what? You're going to keep creating crap for yourself.
Reality is 100%.
Yeah, reality's right 100% of the time. And the divine spirit, whatever this little force is that's applying force here, is trying to get him to build a new reality from the inside out. Is he having struggles with these concepts? I would suggest so. Has the divine feminine seeded in that soul space? Yes. Has the divine itself wants to toast the connection, or wants to apply some serious forces under the new moon and Alliance Gate energy? Does the universe want you to tip some balancing energies into that cup? Accept and surrender, divine feminine. Oh, that's a power kicker. And the likely outcome, he's got some discerning to do if he's going to get sunbaked by the divine. That's my term now. I like it.
I'm looking that's under the
This is from under the deck.
Yeah, but then look what's underneath the push. Those two.
Uh,
And then that one there. Did you want to take that?
This
Yeah.
one. Are you encouraging me
No.
to?
Just saying.
Just saying. Oh, maybe. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, the Devil, the Temperance card.
The same as that.
Yeah, another repeating message. We've got, oh, thank you. We've got the Magician, the Tower, and the King of Swords. Look at these. Looky. You know what?
It's almost near identical reads.
Yeah, we're getting the same messages.
Same, as long like the push messages are being consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it layer at a time because I'm excited at what I'm seeing. Queen of Pentacles. This came through for you last night in the reading Divine Masculine. It came through yes, masculine. But it came through for the Divine Feminine last night, didn't it?
Yeah.
No, the masculine, because it was your card. Sorry, I am getting confused, but I have seen her come through in this energy in a recent read, and she did come through up in this push from the universe. So this is coming through, you know, that's what's directly applied. This is what the push is in layers. This Queen of Pentacles is about getting to work as a divine entity on a twin flame soulmate journey. Now, what we've got playing out here is an interesting mix, isn't it? Because I'm not to dig back into our mess, but this is another representation of where we were. Are you ready? Queen of Pentacles and the Devil. Not that you was the devil, but you were running around like the devil, right? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I'm not. That's no word of a lie, right? So it's true. And here I was as little mysterious Queen of Pentacles out there running her business, looking after her kids, doing all this kind of thing. You know, we've shown this we started the reading as the Knight of Wands and the Four of Pentacles. This ain't much different. You know, the energy is still pretty divorced from each other. So for mine, this is kind of like an awareness of it from Divine Masculine. And it's good to have Ricky here and go, you know, like when we were coming closer to this point where it was like coming into balance, how aware were these things for you of going, if I go near her again, are we going to be able to bridge this gap? And I think this is one of the questions that I can't answer that they're asking me is how much awareness you had that we were closing the gap. Big question. Put you on the spot.
I don't know, just with each time that we came into union, and then like we went through so many separations, but the separations got shorter. And then, you know, you sort of figure out that you're kind of doing something. So you're trying to figure out what it is you're fucking up on and what you need to work on, and you know, don't be as baked as what it was. You know, you want to come out baked proper, like ready to go.
Like sunbaked.
Yeah, sunbaked. Like, you know, you want to be in the oven, 200 degrees, 4 hours, you know, slow cooked, whatever. Come out nice and tender, crisp.
Yeah.
Not baked out like, you know, the baked as I was baked.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, the Devil card to come out here is pretty, you know, it does get us back into that place of reflection where we were at the start of the reading. But look what comes about here is like the push from the universe is to balance that out. And I think that if Divine Masculine is feeling that, if that is the push, if it's starting to feel, guess what comes next? Guess what comes next? Oh, and this is what happened. Magic. You can't even make that up. Magic. And we talk about that. We're open about that, you know, there's you can't logically fathom how the journey transformed. And look here, you know, if we're going to talk about 8/8, look, I'm just seeing that really standing out, like with the Lionsgate portal. We're getting enough
Yeah.
reinforcement to say this is a pivotal time for these transitions to take place. What will happen? It will be a breakdown to breakthrough. Yes, again, we will confirm that was where we were at.
Yeah.
Was I still getting red flags? Was I having to put the meal back in the oven?
Oh,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah, it does. It's like the magic. The magic happens for sure, but it's like breakdown to breakthrough at times. It was a real at times you go, am I, aren't I, are we ready, are we not ready?
Yeah.
And then like boom, yes you are. The King of Swords comes in and says, I am cutting away all the crap and nonsense between you two. You are now going to feel this energy like it's a fair exchange. Like how you show up for each other has far more alignment, and this is the push for you, Divine Feminine, too. This is the thing. We're going pretty hard on the Divine Masculine because Ricky's a pretty good target. But there's things about us that need to be aligned, and he's being polite in not sort of red hot exposing where the big things were that I needed to bring into balance. But I'd worked very, very hard to make that balance happen before this ever came anywhere near me again. Seriously, if this had shown up again, I swear, if this had shown up again,
should have knocked me upside my head.
Probably. Put him back in the oven and set the temperature to fry. Like, set that mother on fire. I could not have gone another round of this misalignment. I swear to you, I just couldn't have gone another round of this misalignment. But we are here today on the back of this. We're here on the back of this magic that comes from getting on your journey with the divine, and alignment comes in. And somebody said, when do you know you've got green flags? It's when this happens, when both parties come into balance. You've both drawn it in this reading, so it's in your energy space. For you right now, Divine Masculine, it's a little lower down the energy scale. This is a direct push against you, Divine Feminine. Righto, I've talked a really long time. Should we do some quick oracle cards?
Yes,
so, I think I want to draw for the Divine Masculine. Do you want to draw for the Divine Feminine?
Sure.
Is that what you feel? Let's balance this out.
I'll draw for the feminine.
Righto. What have you got? This was a super long reading, which I suspected it would be, having dived into. Yeah, look, suffering is optional, right? See this, the breakdown to breakthrough. If they come to you and they're presenting with this Knight energy and you're an Empress energy, you might have these Tower moments where you have to, like we say, push it away from you for one more time, and you might feel that sting of disappointment again. But suffering is optional, because I honestly, you just heard me say, if I had to do another round of this, I would have set him on fire, legit. I was not going to suffer one more round. So this defensive energy to him coming back was real. It was legit. And if he had not shown up like this, and I had not been aligned to being like this, I swear to you, I was not going another round of suffering. And what I mean by that is I was always going to take the benefit of the ascension journey and run with it, no matter what transpired. So that energy of the Fool, I had already set my target with, I am on mission for the divine, whatever that looks like, whether it's walking in union, whether it's walking by myself, whether it's walking with Mr. Sirius. I didn't know how it was going to pan out. The Fool is a leap of faith. It is accept and surrender, and you do not have to suffer in the process. You can know that your blessings lie with the Fool, and following the path, and the road will rise up to meet you. Divine, I promise you, suffering is absolutely optional. Let's have a look. Divine Masculine. I don't want to rush through these, but it has been a really long reading, and I think that we've got to the heart of the story. Yes. But let's have a look. Let's have a. And while I read that one, if you want to choose one for the connection,
I shall.
yeah. Oh, see this, and it's where did we have it? It's in there somewhere. Like we were talking last night about the. I'm looking for the tower. There it is. We were talking last night about the. Or in the previous reading, if you haven't watched it, one of the outcome cards, we were talking about Dark Night of the Soul for Divine Masculine, that it's a possibility that
Yeah.
that energy might be driving them on. Um, can you speak to this at all? I mean, not to, you don't have to be horribly vulnerable, but you've hit some low points.
Mm.
So, what do you think? Do you want to go there or not really?
No, not really. All right, now
Let's just to say,
we will eventually.
let's just to say there were some low points, and this idea of being broken and driving dark nights of the soul. It's alive and it's real, and I know people have been talking to us going, I can really feel the pain on the other side. Seriously, breakdown to breakthrough is a very, very big energy right now. And if they reach out and they're underdone, you're still okay for them to spend more time healing this stuff. And in fact, it's better that they do.
Yeah.
It's better that they do the bulk of this work on their own, even if you feel it in that soul space. Like I was saying with this card originally, that this balancing that's going out is probably being triggered by whatever big process is happening on the divine masculine side. Like Ricky's is a very vulnerable story when he unpacks it, and that's why I say it's completely reserved to his timing, if and when he wants to reveal it. But he's very familiar with. Is that a fair call?
Yeah.
Been there, done
Been
that.
there, done that.
Let it go.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's your story. Yours to tell. But like to see that
tell
there.
someone if you want. It's up to you, but, yeah.
Mature. We're going to be really mature about this. This seriously for the connection, like for it to mature, this is about spiritual maturity, and it's about coming into your own and knowing who you are and what you're all about, and how do you get into those levels of maturity. For twin flames, don't we all know it? The patterns and the doctrines suggest that this is where it goes now. Divine feminine, you've been here, you went there first, and here you're at the point where you know suffering is optional, that the strength that comes from the journey will allow you to follow the divine. And you still feel the pain. I'm not going to say that you don't feel the pain, but the suffering portion of the journey, where it keeps you locked in a cage, for this wave, it should start to feel like you're getting some kind of a measure of what to do about that. Whereas divine masculine, you might be feeling it a little bit more intensely. Last night we had waking up and seeing the levels of broken. That's a tough gig, but what is the effect of that is that the connection matures. And that is a beautiful outcome for this reading, and it's our testimony. Absolutely, that we feel like we've. Some of us have matured. No,
Some of us have, some of us just a bit more than others.
fully jest. We've come to a spiritually mature place where we can get through. It doesn't stop life coming at us for sure. We just know how to handle it a hell of a lot better, and we get to enjoy the best of the connection. And you all know what I'm talking about. What it is to be in. Enjoy the connection with your twin, but not be able to hold connection. It's why you would, if you've stuck this far, it's why you've stuck this far. That is a super long reading we've delivered. If you want to reach out to us, if you want to talk about any of this stuff with us, we're more than happy to have a personal chat with you.
Yeah. Feel free to comment or message us. And, again, we're on all platforms from Facebook to TikTok to Instagram, even here on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. If you know anyone else that might be wanting to know something, you want to reach out for a friend, reach out for a friend. And I hope tonight's reading has sort of answered the question of how do you know when he's ready. It's like kids when you're baking a cake. Kids are always at the oven. As soon as the tin goes into the oven, they want to see whether it's rising or not, and they want to try and pull it out before it's ready. So it's pretty much like that. Yeah, kids want to open the door and pull it out, put it back in,
They
and
check and see there's a
yeah,
crust on the
yeah,
top.
and, it might get a bit crusty on top every now and then, but inside's not ready. But
Yeah.
you pull it out, you stick a skewer in, it comes out still. You put that sucker back in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I, I was baked on so many levels that she pulled me out at every wrong time. But anyway, again, hopefully that we've gotten a message out to everyone, and thank you so much for listening in. If you got this far, it has been a long reading, and again, don't forget to meditate underneath this new moon tonight in the southern hemisphere and tomorrow in the northern hemisphere, before this Lion's Gate opens up and the Sirius stars back in the eastern horizons. And from me, I shall say adios, and
I'll
Susie,
say in faith, hope, and love. Till we hopefully we get to talk to you next time. Till then, it's bye from us.
goodbye.